Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. This is a nation united, and it is time to get the next season underway. Although, of course, I do want to talk about what happened in the last episode, as we finally hit that wall of having too many players and needing to make some decisions. And, you know, the problem was exacerbated a little bit by signing Robert Hagg, who we didn't end up keeping. The big-time logjam was mainly on defense. And then, of course, you had the Elias Anderson trade, which you have to remember this, guys, with this series. We're only allowed to draft Swedes. So first-round picks for us aren't incredibly valuable. Yes, there have been quite a few guys who have been drafted, like medium top 6, maybe high top 9, medium top 9. But those aren't necessarily the players that are going to really turn into what we're looking for right now. We're trying to lock down our core. For example, our top 6 is pretty much set. The hope is that someone in the bottom 6 right now can eventually replace Burakovsky and Arvidsson, because they've pretty much hit their cap. 85, 86 is the ceiling for those two players. Unfortunately, we kind of hope that they'd be a little bit better. But with Rickard Rakell, who last year didn't complain about ice time, he would have complained about the trading away guys. But you can see right there, from April 6th, before the season ended, he was cool with the amount of ice time he was getting. That's because, of course, he was on the top power play unit. For the record, I haven't gone through and edited that myself, so if we see that we're struggling, I'll have to go ahead and do that. But we're still in the phase where we're trying to figure out just who is going to be a part of the core moving forward, which is why we have a different strategy with the fourth line this year, with offensively gifted, we'll say, players like Carl Grundstrom, Jonathan Dahlin, and Jens Luke. Luke is the best out of the bunch defensively, and he's only 3.5 star. But these guys could push for that top 6 spot. Grundstrom, the hope is that he becomes a top 9 guy, and I think I kind of whistled as I said that. That might have sounded weird on the mic. It sounded weird to me, and was enough to be able to point that out. But the hope, for example, is that we'd eventually have this situation, right? Eriksson Ek graduates to the second line, Grundstrom graduates, and then hopefully Burakovsky Burakovsky wouldn't graduate. He'd graduate to another team, and we'd ship him out of town. We're still, despite having a good team, we are still in the early stages of crafting this team. The team isn't set yet. We still have work to do. We still need to let certain players progress. And we're in the process of getting this team into the vicious cycle that we tend to end up going into with our series, where we just have constant roster turnover in the bottom 6 with the third pairing on defense. We're in the stages of that, and I showcased that with the trades that we made in the last episode, where we still, we got rid of NHL caliber players like Nicholas Hansen, but we were also able to bring in players for the AHL squad that could eventually push to make the NHL team. It's going to work out in the end, guys. Unlike with Nations United, where we had all of those different nationalities, with the Swedes, we are going to have success. It is just simply a matter of time. Now, that said, how long that takes could change depending on what moves I make and if I make any mistakes in what we've done. And you could argue it hasn't been a clean run so far. Mistakes have definitely been made, but the roster is in a really good spot. We've already ended up with quite a few players that I didn't think we'd ever be able to get. I certainly didn't think that we'd end up with William Nylander, Forsberg, and Rickard Rakell. I did not see that happening, and I thought we'd have to take a bit more time, as we actually lose Philip Forsberg to injury. I thought we'd have to take a bit more time and build up this team with prospects, but we've been able to make certain moves that have really helped out. And let's see here. You know what? We'll call up Elias Anderson. Why not? why not? The good news is Rickard Rakell will get to go up on the top line, and that is something I was debating, is having Rickard Rakell on the top line to begin with Alex Nylander being a second line forward. You know, could easily play Andre Burakovsky at center. And for now, let's just go best lines. And it is funny that it bumps William Nylander down to the second line, but I'm not all that concerned about that. Let's see here. Let's see. Rakell is a better center. What do I want to do with the lines here? I actually don't even know. So Grundstrom's not bad offensively. Dahlin's already looking pretty damn good. 91 offensive awareness for Elias Anderson, so he can actually do all right on the fourth line with Luke. So Dahlin will get bumped here. And then offensively, Carlson, 84 offensive. So I'll have Carlson there. And I think, what do I want to do here? That's just what I'm trying to figure out really quick, is how do I want to set this team up at the moment? And that, yeah, you know, that could be all right. Or we could break up the Nylanders for now, just to see how things go. Nah, we can keep them on the same line, that's fine. We can keep them on the same line. Who's the better center? Jonathan Dahlin, and it's not even close. So Jonathan Dahlin will get a big-time chance here. We're going to put him on the second line. Eriksson Ek's more of a two-way player. I'm going to give Dahlin the chance here. And we'll see what he can do. Defensively, we're still set. All right, let's go change up the AHL lines super quickly here. Don't want to waste too much time. I am hoping, of course, to make it to at least the All-Star break in this episode. We'll go with Soderstrom as the replacement, and we'll bump him down to the fourth line, and we are good to go. So we are without Philip Forsberg for a couple of weeks, and damn it, we have a back-to-back. We'll just sit in the game against Chicago. That's fine. I could go with auto-rotate goalies, and I know this, and we've seen that in Draft to Glory, it's actually not that bad. And you know what? I might finally give in. I might finally give in and change that. I'm not sure. You know what? If I don't do it for this episode, the next episode, I think I'll finally turn on auto-rotate goalies for this series. But typically, of course, you guys know at this point, I do like to only play our backup goalies in a situation where we're losing constantly or with back-to-backs. And it worked out there. We get the 5-0 shutout over the Edmonton Oilers. Not too bad. Currently in second place in the division. Nobody really running away with it. Calgary, of course, ran away with it. They have been the beasts of this division, and it could be pretty tough for us moving forward. And I completely forgot Malta Stromwall already out to injury, and that's why Carl Grundstrom was there. I completely forgot about the Stromwall injury in between recording episodes. So, again, another guy who could be pushing for that top 9 spot moving forward. Let's in the next 4 games. We have a huge game coming up against the Calgary Flames. We're going to want to get every point that we can from them because they are going to be, you know, probably the top team in this division this year. I don't think we're going to necessarily compete for the division title. It's possible, absolutely, and we lose 7-5 as I say that. It is possible. However, the goal isn't to win the division. The goal is to just make the playoffs and hopefully get past the first round, but at the very least, just make it to the playoffs. We have to. We absolutely have to this season. Now, we are currently tied for first, actually. This game could put Calgary back on top of the division, but it's so early on, I don't think it's going to matter. Forsberg is not 100%, so he will not play. Robin Lehner with a .920 save percentage and a .940 for Högberg in his 2 appearances so far, which means I'm trading Robin Lehner again. No, not for the moment. Not for the moment. I do, at this point, think it is just going to be best to have both goalies on this team. Why not? Why not just, I mean, they're arguably the 2 best Swedish options that we have in the league at the moment. Might as well hold on to both of them. If Högberg starts complaining about ice time, we can just easily start playing him a little bit more. But for the moment, we're good. For the moment, we're good. Now, Philip Forsberg is back. How did Jonathan Dahlen do on the second line? Oh, my God. Turns out I can still make a good decision every now and then. What an impressive start for him. Burakovsky, not too bad. Arvidsson, 10 points, isn't terrible. You know, especially that we have him listed as a two-way. Could easily go back to a playmaker or a sniper. He's one of those players, there's a ton of them, and there always will be, that you could have at a different role. Absolutely. Elias Anderson, only 2 points, so he will be dropped down to the AHL, and Carl Grundstrom will stick around until Stromwall is ready. So let's go ahead and get this team set back up, and we are at least on pace to make the All-Star break in somewhat decent time. So we'll drop Raquel back down, and just like that, the team is looking good. Just like that, the team's looking good. We'll have Dahlen back on the fourth line. Is he good enough to be a top 2 player? I mean, yeah, you look at those stats. It's just the defense and physical category that drags him down. So hopefully that can make the fourth line that much better. You look at Jens Luke, offensively, you know, an offensively oriented player. Carl Grundstrom, not too bad. His shot is pretty terrible, but you factor in that he's a depth player right now. That's Malta Stromwall's line, and he will be back, hopefully, very, very soon. I do want to take a look. A little bit worried that Liljegren is still an 84. He is only 20 years old, though. Then you have Gustav Forsling, a couple of people not too impressed with him so far. We'll see if he gets better. High top 6, that has worked out for us in the past. If you remember the Bruins series, where Dennis Cholowski turned into a 91 overall, I do believe. It's worth giving him a chance. And like I said, the team isn't set. Odds are he won't be a member of this team for the long run when you look at some of the players that we do have down here in the AHL. Carl Dahlstrom, not exactly one of those guys. Linus Nassen could push for his spot. Eric Bronstrom, I think, is the main guy here that we have to keep an eye on. And admittedly, if the third pairing eventually becomes Bronstrom-Liljegren, and the top 2 pairings stay the same, that's a damn good team. That is a damn good team. So we're in a good spot. We are still in a good spot. And of course, with the amount of roster turnover we're going to continue to have, there is still there's still going to be plenty of picks that we're going to recoup over the years. Plenty of deals that we can make. We're in a great spot. Right now, it's just a matter of patience and hopefully getting back to our winning ways here after a 3-game losing streak. And we did do just that against Arizona. Another big game against the Flames, and Eriksson Ek goes down to injury. Injury bug biting hard so far this year. I think you guys get my point, though, about what is going on with this series right now. We're in a good spot, and I'm actually going to call up Elias Anderson again. I might as well. He is the best option, and we'll get him as much playing time as we possibly can. Jonathan Dahlen will get a nice bump up to that third pairing, or the third line. He'll be with Forsbacka, Carlson, and Adrian Kempe, which is not too shabby. That team's still looking pretty good. Team is still looking pretty good. I need to, again, put Soderstrom back in the lineup, the high AHL top 6 potential. And from there, things are looking okay. Still get a pretty well-rounded team down with the Ontario Reign. We lost both games to Calgary. Not good. Not good. And if we keep losing games here, we might have to take a look at the line combinations, because this is already feeling kind of similar to what happened last year. We have a good team, but early on we're losing games, and we are going to have to stop here. We're going to have to stop here. This record isn't good enough. For the team that we have right now, the record isn't good enough. So we'll take a look at some of the stats. Fuck it. Here, we'll sim the game against the Rangers, and then we'll have to put in Högberg anyway. Actually, no, fuck it, whatever. We'll have Högberg play against the Rangers. So let's see here. Even then, we're only 3 points out. We're only 3 points back, which isn't terrible. But let's take a look at the team stats here. Like I said, If the power play and PK are bad, we can change that. Yes, we don't have a tremendous amount of highly rated defensive players between our forwards, but you would kind of hope we'd perform a little bit better. So goal scoring, top half of the league with a .291 average, goals for per game. Goals against per game, we have the 4th lowest goals against per game. Wow. Yet we're still kind of struggling this year. Our power play is pretty shit. Yeah, I mean, bottom, lower half of the league. So we'll have to address that. And our penalty kill is pretty bad too. So special teams, we are absolutely struggling with right now. So let's go ahead, take the time to set things up. And actually, I think from the start of the year, I did, at the end of the last episode, once I stopped recording, I actually went through and edited, changed the lines up. But with the amount of times I've used best lines so far, that's out the window. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So Högberg will play the next game. And then offensively, we're good. I guess I could get Arvidsson out of there. I mean, he's not terrible. He's not terrible. Raquel would stay. Forsberg would stay. Defensively, Rasmus Andersson, 86. I think we'd want Liljegren in over Anderson. So let's do that. It'd be him or Forsling. And yeah, the answer's obvious. So let's get Liljegren onto the power play unit. And then Victor Arvidsson. Who could I replace Arvidsson with? So it already has Jonathan Dahlin in there. Burakovsky, an 87 for offensive awareness, and 89 for him. 84, 84, 82. Yeah, I could put Elias Anderson in there for now, but that wouldn't stick. I mean, he's going to get sent back down not too long from now. Huh. I mean, Arvidsson's okay. We can have Arvidsson there, and he's already on the second unit. How is he doing this season? 2 goals, 11 helpers. Right. Okay, well, hold on here. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? So we need Raquel on the top unit, right? We need Raquel on the top unit. We have a shitload of righties. So we'll have Arvidsson on the right there with Alex Nylander. Yeah, damn, I don't know. This is tough. Again, the team should be doing better. So what we'll do, we'll drop Lindholm down. So we'll have Bengtsson, Hedman, Lindholm, Liljegren. And then we'll have the shot on the left and the playmaker on the right. I think that's already looking a bit better. And you know what? I'm actually going to put Raquel with Forsberg. And again... Oh, isn't this exciting? Again, we'll have to put Liljegren into the power play units. Some of these things, man, you just got to take the time to do it. Again, you could argue, well, just do it off screen. Yeah, probably should, but I haven't so far. Why would Best Lines put Elias Anderson out there? Like, are you kidding me? Well, that's a problem, trusting Best Lines. So defensively, 3.5 star, 3.5 star. So Arvidsson, Raquel, Kempe, and we'll say Burakovsky. Arvidsson, Raquel, Burakovsky, Kempe. That's who we need on the PK unit. So the second line and Kempe. That's who we need out on the PK unit. So Kempe is already there. So we just need to add Burakovsky and Ricard Raquel. And that should make things look at least a little bit better on paper. Get Burakovsky, 71 face-offs. That is good enough. I'll actually put Kempe up there with Raquel and then have Burakovsky and Arvidsson. And then defensively, Lindholm, Anderson, Hedman, and Liljegren. Let me double check defensively here. Damn. So we have Anderson. We have Liljegren. Bengtsson as well. I'd probably rather have Bengtsson over Liljegren. So those two. And then Anderson. So we could have Forsling or Bengtsson. And let's go with Forsling, just because Bengtsson has the power play time. Let's get Liljegren out of there for Gustav Forsling. And we should be Good to go. You know what? We'll put these two guys together. All right. I think that's looking much better. So let's get Raquel and Burakovsky in once again. Oh, my God. Well, hopefully, you know, regardless, we're making it to the All-Star break in this episode. But I got to do this. I got to take my time with it. You know, I could just stop the episode and make a jump cut. But, yeah, I don't have an excuse for not doing it, guys. I don't have an excuse. It's just much easier to do things this way, even if it is a tad bit boring. I apologize if it is. But we're good to go. We are good to go. I put Högberg in, so we'll sim this game against the Rangers. Malta Stromwall is healthy. We were on 25 points, and we're still on 25 points. Damn. And the power play lines might change now if Stromwall's fully healthy. He's not. Neither is Eriksson Ek. So we can at least keep the lines this way for one more game. And then I'll have to take a look. So we do have the second game of the back-to-back here against the Minnesota Wild. Quite a few back-to-backs so far this year. It's a shootout loss. All right. Eriksson Ek is fully healthy. I imagine Stromwall will be too, but I can't guarantee that. Cannot guarantee that. We're only 2 points back, though, of Calgary. Our record is pretty bad, but we're only 2 points out of the first spot, first place spot in this division. So, let's go to roster moves. We'll send down Elias Anderson. We'll take a look at Eriksson Ek to see if he is worth having on the PK unit. Otherwise, I'm not too concerned about having him on the power play or anything like that. So, Eriksson Ek, 4-star defense compared to, well, actually, it would be worth having him on the PK unit, I do believe. All right, so let's go take a look again here. So 4-star. Yeah, he could replace Andrei Burakovsky. All right, so there you go. That's a quick fix. That's a quick fix at least. So we'll get him in on the PK unit. Not too shabby. And then the 4v4. 4v4, we're good there. Okay. Yep, we're good to go. Perfect. Although, I am going to have to edit this again in a minute when Stromwall's fully healthy, but hey, we're staying in good spirits here. We're staying in good spirits. Can we get a win against the Sharks? Man, we suck, apparently. All right. Well, now that we are fully healthy, for the first time, I believe, since opening night, we'll take another look at what we could potentially do. Now, Carl Grundstrom is going to be the guy sent down. Unfortunately, hasn't been bad. 7 points, a +2. Unfortunately for me, he is good friends with Alex Nylander, but I need to do what I need to do for this team. So Grundstrom will be sent down, and Alex can whine about it, and that's fine. So, Malta Stromwall. Let's get you back into this lineup. You're probably going straight to the power play, despite the fact that you're going to be on the 4th line, which is hilarious to me. You're going to be on the 4th line, but yeah. All right, so let's go back to the power play units, and that's who can replace Victor Arvidsson on the power play lines is Malta Stromwall. Perfect. So let's get Stromwall in there. We still have Jonathan Dahlen in. Of course, he is on the 4th line. So 2 4th liners with Alex Nylander for the 2nd line power play unit. That is incredible. So I feel a little bit bad for Burakovsky, or not for Burakovsky, for Arvidsson, but he does have PK time. So that's good. That is good news for us. Robin Leonard is between the pipes. Let's take a look. Holy shit. Like, I know you've been hurt. Before. Man. Philip Forsberg's broken. What the hell? 77 points last year. He has 4 points in 19 games. What has happened to Philip Forsberg? William Nylander's doing well. Alex Nylander's doing all right. Burakovsky, Raquel's doing all right. Arvidsson's doing all right. Man. You know what? I got to bump Forsberg down. I have to bump Forsberg down. Let's put Raquel up on the top unit with the Nylanders. And we'll have Forsberg with Burakovsky and Arvidsson. And we'll see if he can get his game under control. Like I said, Burakovsky not doing terribly. 13 points in 26 games is actually really good. That is really good. And the 15 points for Victor Arvidsson. Third line, Adrian Kempe, he is best suited as a power forward, maybe even as a two-way. Actually, as a two-way, he might be better, of course. You could even go grinder for him. As a power forward, he's not getting the points. So I might just go grinder, although he does have a good shot. That's the problem. So I'm going to have to look at changing his player type. Eriksson Ek missed some time. He has 8 points, and then Carlson isn't doing too terribly. All right, so really quickly, at the very least, I need to change, not trade. I need to change Kempe's player type. He's been another one of those guys, just like Arvidsson, where you can have him set to a number of different player types, and it would fit the attributes. So we'll hope that Grinder can maybe get his game going a little bit more. Again, he would fit well as a two-way. With Burakovsky, playmaker, suits him very well. Philip Forsberg, obviously a sniper, suits him very well. He is a physical player, though, which is surprising, but he's absolutely a sniper. Rickard Rakell as a playmaker, absolutely. Could be argued as a two-way, but we'll leave him as a playmaker. Eriksson Ek as a power forward concerns me, and I think I'm going to change him. Like, as a playmaker, he wouldn't be bad. I have him as a power forward because he does have that 91 hand-eye, so you would kind of want him to get to the front of the net and hopefully aim for those deflections. I'm going to change him back to a two-way. He's been multiple different player types in this series, and we're just trying to find what clicks for him. So that's set. Dahlin as a sniper, no question. You could have him as a playmaker, but sniper's been working. William Nylander as a playmaker, no doubt about it. We're good there. Right wing, Stromwall as a sniper. Yeah, could argue playmaker, but we'll leave him. Alec Nylander's a playmaker, no doubt about it. Arvidsson as a two-way. Not against that. Not against that. You could argue playmaker, but we'll leave him. And then Forsbacher Carlson, we're good. Jens Luke, we're good. All right, let's go. Let's get a little bit more simming done here. Let's hope Philip Forsberg can find his game. But knock on wood, we are fully healthy for the first time in forever. Let's see if we can start racking up some wins and salvage this season. It's still early enough that if we start to bounce back, which it's not looking like we're going to, if we start to bounce back, we could still salvage this year. We're only 5 points back of Calgary, but we are on a massive, massive losing streak here. Defensively, what's the issue? The Bankston-Anderson pairing isn't doing all that well, which is a bit of a shame. Their plus-minus is pretty garbage. I'm going to just straight up swap them for Forsling and Liljegren, who have been doing all right. We do have Hampus Lindholm as an offensive defenseman. It's a bit of a risk, but it hasn't really paid off too much. Same with Victor Hedman. It's amazing that Victor Hedman's only 28 in this sim. Robin Leonard and Högberg, their save percentages have dropped as well. Our goaltending hasn't been what we've needed it to be, and we have some underperforming players. Philip Forsberg, Victor Hedman isn't dominating like he has for us in previous years. Can Högberg get the win? He can't. He got us a point, though. We'll play him against Detroit before switching back, and he did. There we go. He bounced back with a 3-0 shutout. How many losses? That was 6 in a row. Six losses in a row. Before the Ranger win, there was also another 3. We are on a terrible, terrible run of form. That was a November to forget. No doubt about that. A 5-3 loss to the Jets, and that will do it for Högberg. Gonna have to go with Robin Leonard. Still 4 points back. Just 4 points back of Calgary. We're right there. We are right there. Just string together some wins. Find your game. That's all we need. That is all we need. It's for this team to just remember how to win a goddamn game consistently. That's all we need. for the moment. Let's see. Philip Forsberg bouncing back a little bit, starting to get his game under control. Raquel's having a pretty good year. I am going to jump back now and put Forsberg back where he should be. And then let's see. Kempe's having an alright season. I was looking at maybe promoting Jonathan Dahlen, because now wouldn't be a terrible time to do that. And it is obvious he could easily play. Him and Stromwell. I mean, we could flat out trade Arvidsson and Burakovsky, and I think they'd, fit in pretty well on the second line. And from there, we could just try to find some aging veterans for the fourth line. But my God, we continue to lose games, and I might not be able to make it to the All-Star break if this continues. If we're not able to win the majority of our games from this point on, I might have to stop the episode. And we would have to look at making a drastic move. Not the ideal situation, but we can't afford to fail at this stage. We need to be a playoff team. And it's tough to say exactly why we're losing. Underperforming goaltending was a factor. The last time we looked at the stats, we changed up our special teams. We need to be winning games. We're into January of 2020, and we will go ahead and sim to this Pittsburgh game before we switch to our backup. Ontario, I haven't talked about them too much. They have a nice record, which is good. At least one of our teams are winning. I don't want to say anything too positive, but we ended December on a pretty good note and have started January on a good note. And we're just 3 points back of San Jose. We are currently in a playoff spot, despite technically a losing record. 19 wins and 20 losses combined. Not ideal. Leonard's bounced back a little bit with his save percentage. But let's see. Forsberg still only 13 points. I don't like that top line. I mean, obviously with their defense, none of them are terrible defensively. But you'd still hope for a little bit better. That second line's doing well. Third line doing all right. They're starting to get their game under control. Fourth line, Jonathan Dahlen's looking really good. All right. And we are starting to string together some wins. Hopefully we can keep that up. I will quickly take a look at the team stats. And, this is going to be another longer episode. It's not going to be anywhere near the length of last episode. But I still want to hit the All-Star break. And then if we're in desperation mode for the start of the next episode, so be it. But goals for per game. We are in the top 10, I do believe. 292 a game. That's not too bad. Goals against per game. Also, we're just outside the top 5. We are 6th in the NHL. So despite our goaltending being a bit rocky, we're not giving up that many goals. Our power play is still at 15%, 15.7. So it still is not great. And our PK isn't great either. We're still struggling. We are still struggling on special teams. Now, I haven't put too much emphasis into the team strategies because it's just another one of those things where you wonder if it actually does what you want it to do, right? It's another one of those things. But for the hell of it, we'll change up our PK to large box, and we'll change the power play to overload. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens from there. And we'll also change things up a little bit. We'll change up the neutral zone, and we'll change that up too. To be honest, I don't even recall. I think that's the first time I've even double-checked that stuff. I don't recall even setting that from the first episode. But Marcus Högberg gets the next 2 games against Pittsburgh and Dallas. And we'll hope for the best from him. He gets a point against Pittsburgh. That's good. That's good. I will take a point at least. Every point is going to matter if we continue to be this inconsistent. We play the Dallas Stars, and we get a 6-1 win. All right. Not bad. second place in the division. We've also played 2 less games than the Sharks. So we're looking good. I don't want to say too much, but we're looking good. Looking good for the moment. Hoegberg, good job. Good job, buddy. We needed you to step up, and you got 3 out of a possible 4 points. That's a job well done from a backup. Robin Lehner gets the next 3 games. Hoegberg plays Winnipeg, and then Lehner plays the last 3 games of this episode. We at least keep the point streak going against Edmonton. We get the win against the Canucks, and another shootout loss, but again, the point streak is still alive and has been going for, I believe, 8 games now. 8 straight games with at least a point. That is fantastic. And that is good enough to put us into first place in the division. We're 44 games in, a little bit over halfway through this season. And we are currently on top of the division. Robin Lehner, not the best. It's about league average goaltending. Hoegberg a little bit below that, and in fairness, has only played 11 games. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the level of confidence that I wish I did at this stage of the season, that this team was the one to get it done. Again, easily, I could go out, and I've mentioned them so many times now, Patrick Berglund, Carl Soderberg, we could easily go out and get players like that. But the point is, with this team right now and the bottom 6, we still need to find out what we have from these players. Burakovsky and Arvidsson, they are what they are. 85, 86 overall. Burakovsky might hit an 86. He's not going to get any better. So we still need to see what we have with some of our younger players. But we could easily go out and get better. And that's the thing, too. The second I trade a young player, even if it makes sense to do so, what the hell are you doing trading that guy, right? It's always going to be challenging, and you can't please everybody. So all I can do is look at the input, look at the feedback, and then progress from there. And for me, I still want to hang on to see what we have with some of these younger players on our team. That's the plan for now. As we reach the All-Star break and the end of the sim period, unfortunately because of those 2 losses, we are back into 3rd place in the division, 1 point above the San Jose Sharks. This division is close. Nobody is running away with it, not by a long shot. We do have 2 games in hand on both the Sharks and Flames, but Anaheim have 3 games at hand. So it is going to be one hell of a race. Arizona's not out of it. Vancouver's not out of it. Edmonton might be. But the Pacific Division is a very, very close race. You look at the goals for per game. We are still up there. 2.98 a game. You look at the goals against per game. We're still 6th in the league for the lowest amount of goals for, or goals against per game, I should say. Our power play is still garbage. It is still garbage. The PK is still garbage. Special teams has been a backbreaker for us all year long. And we'll take a look in the next episode at maybe changing some things up. You have the team stats. 41 points in 48 games for Alex Nylander. Raquel with 40 points. William Nylander with 40 points. Jonathan Dahlen. He's been on the second line. He's been on the fourth line. He has 28 points. Burakovsky with 26. Bengtsson doing all right. Forsberg's rebounded okay, so that's good. Victor Hedman with 23 points. 21 for Arvidsson. And we have some other guys here that are doing pretty well. I'm not too disappointed in many of those point totals. You get a look, of course, at the goaltenders. Robin Lehner, 39 games and 918. Hoegberg, a 918 in 12 games. So, not too bad. We still, though, have the same question we have to ask ourselves. What moves do we make, if any? Or do we just stand pat? But you see that John Gibson is the winningest goaltender this year. We'll take a look at the rookie race since we're already here, and that's Robin Kovacs leading the way for Colorado. Nico Hischier went to Buffalo 38 points this season. Nolan Patrick, also a rookie, only 20 points. Very, very interesting. Other goaltenders? Are there goaltenders, I should say. There are some goalies that could be in the race. Evan Fitzpatrick, Carter Hart, as well as Felix Sandstrom, someone who I was told to look out for. He is an 82 overall and is performing very well. Somebody that, if we were to get rid of Hogberg or Robin Leonard, that I'd probably look to pick up as the backup from there. You could argue, oh, he'd be a great AHL goalie for you right now, but remember, we do have Adam Werner as our starter there right now, and he's doing pretty damn well. He hasn't progressed, though, over an 80 overall, which is a little bit concerning. I was hoping that would happen by this point, but still, is patience the best way to go? Is patience the best way to go? Jonathan Drouin leading the league in points. Kirill Kaprizov up there for the Florida Panthers. No Connor McDavid. Not even close. Well, yeah, 44 points. Not too far off. But for a 94 overall, you'd hope for a little bit better. Guys, I think that does it for this episode. And again, a somewhat uncomfortable spot that we find ourselves in, as we still can't say for sure if we're on the right path. We could easily find ourselves outside the playoff structure. We could easily find ourselves winning this division. It is very tough to say. But like I've mentioned, we could get veterans for the fourth line, but think about who we'd have to get rid of in that instance. You know, like I said, Burakovsky and Arvidsson could go. We could get some other guys for the fourth line. If we don't have faith in some of these guys on the third line, get rid of them, bump up Jens Luke. But what happens if, for example, Forsbacka Karlsson, or just Karlsson in the game at the moment, what happens if he still turns into something? What happens if Eriksson Ek or Kempe still turn into something? That is the problem. We don't necessarily want to risk our future. And unfortunately, Rasmus Anderson is bitching about ice time. So we'll switch that back. They look to have not exactly gotten their plus-minus under control, but hopefully they can fix that in the next episode. Guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think. It's tough. It is tough. We again find ourselves at a crossroads, and making the wrong decision could result in us really kicking ourselves either in the immediate future or in the distant future when we have a player that we traded away kick us out of the playoffs, which has happened in plenty of other occasions. But let me know down in the comments below what you think. And in general, as we wrap this up, if you have enjoyed this video, of course, make sure to hit that like button to help support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue following this series and others. Follow me on Twitter at Tookie24 for updates and other random stuff. Join the notification squad and all that other stuff. You guys know it's YouTube. It's not that complicated. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode of A Nation United.